Thank you, Mr. Storch. I'll start with you. And as I said in my opening statement, I'm very, from day one, when we had the very first supplemental package, I think putting these mechanisms in place with 3 inspector generals, a Deloitte audit, that's really the way to do this is right at the beginning, not at the tail end. So, I'm pleased that we were able to make that progress. I was in Poland and Ukraine about a month ago, and I went to the 101st Airborne, where the logistics of all the weapons are going in country. It's quite fascinating to see that amount of NATO weapons from all different countries being, merged together, in a pipeline, and then the communications with the Ukrainians, also with the parts and repairers. And it was, I don't think the United States has ever been engaged in anything quite like this. In the weapons, I was assured that there is a system of barcoding with the weapons and in-use monitoring. Could you explain that process to the members?
Thank you very much for the question. As you say, it really is remarkable to see the efforts that are being made to transport such large volumes of equipment and increasingly sophisticated equipment, and to get it to the battlefield in a timely fashion, and then, as you say, to ensure appropriate maintenance and sustainment as well. One of the things that DoD, based on our work, has emphasized, and we've been overseeing to make sure they emphasize, is the accountability of that assistance throughout that supply chain, right? So starting when the material first heads out, watching as it's transported throughout the process, as it gets over into Europe, and then it's transported on into Ukraine. And as you say, one of the things that the DoD has testified about, and frankly we're looking at in our ongoing review of EUM and EUM, is this system of barcoding that's been put in place to help to track the equipment once it enters into the country. So that's an area that the department has been exploring. We looked back in 2020 in our initial EUM evaluation at the earlier stages of that. It's now moved forward, and we're continuing to look at that in our ongoing evaluation.
Yeah, and any ways that we can even improve upon what is already, I think, a good system, please let me know. When I was there at that time, they said there had been no illicit diversion of U.S. weapons transferred to Ukraine. Does that still remain the case?
As I said, based on our substantiated work, we have not substantiated any instances of diversion. And with regard to the improvements in the system, I just say that's a big part of why we do this work, right? We're looking for compliance, but we're also looking for ways to improve the economy, the efficiency, and the effectiveness of what, in my case, the DoD is doing with this. So we're absolutely focused on that, and we'll continue to report on it as transparently as we possibly can.
Ms. Angarella, I am glad to see that our European partners are starting to finally step up to the plate. I think they could do more. I think Eastern European NATO allies have borne the brunt of this, and because it's in their backyard, I think the Western NATO countries could do a better job stepping up. And we've seen, some countries do this. Japan is one of the top givers now, right? And I think we're going to continue to press them. I don't think the United States should bear the burden of this war and responsibility when it's in their own backyard. I know that's not part of your job description, but I just make that as a statement. But for U.S. direct budget support to Ukraine, can you tell us about the existing accounting mechanisms in place, and have you seen any misuse or fraud in these funds?
Thank you for your question. I'll start at the end to state that from our substantiated work that we've done thus far, we have not identified any instances of fraud or misuse with respect to the direct budget support. Starting at the beginning, there is a multi-tiered response and oversight framework in place with many different organizations reporting and providing oversight, starting with the government of Ukraine and the Ministry of Finance. The U.S. government's direct budget support is going through the World Bank through 3 different trust funds. The major one where the majority of money is going through is operated on a reimbursement basis. So once expenditures are made and they are determined to be eligible by the government of Ukraine, they are then submitted to the World Bank, and the World Bank reviews those expenditures for eligibility as the trustee. On top of that, as you mentioned, USAID, the agency, is doing its own oversight and monitoring as the owner of this programming and the agency in which the money is flowing through. They have contracted with Deloitte, as you mentioned, to do capacity building and monitoring in Ukraine to help build up the internal capacity of the government of Ukraine to do that work. Additionally, USAID has partnered with GAO, the agency, not the IG, to do capacity building and training for the external auditors and the Supreme Audit Agency within Ukraine. On top of that, USAID OIG is providing oversight, and where our role is important is looking at the complex structure that's in place and identifying any gaps, any weaknesses, and most importantly, in providing an independent assessment of the monitoring and the reporting that's being done. So to date, our office has issued 3 reports already on direct budget assistance, and we have 2 being worked on right now. And additionally, we have memorandums of understanding, USAID OIG, with the World Bank, their integrity office and their internal audit office, so that we have ease of access and constant discussions with their internal compliance and investigative bodies. So in all of those areas, there are multiple people performing oversight, and our job as the independent body is to assess that oversight.
Well, thank you. I think putting these mechanisms in place from day one has really helped prevent, an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure has really helped prevent, I think, fraud, waste, and abuse. And that's why I think we're getting these positive reports from all 3 of you.